Despite Auburn's offensive woes, DJ Durkin and the Tiger defense continue to produce. Yes, sir. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the latest edition of the Up-Tempo Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Dustin Smith. I want to shine a light on my guy, Auburn defensive coordinator, DJ Durkin. It's been rough on the offensive side of the ball ever since the game went final versus A&M. Hugh Freeze has been under fire. The offense has been under fire. I want to take today's episode to just shine a light on the positivity and talk about my guy, DJ, and the fantastic job he continues to do as Auburn's defensive coordinator, despite everything that's going on the other side of the ball, man. Please, before we get started, do me the favor of liking the video, subbing to the channel. If you're listening over on Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your audio on podcasts, do us the favor of turning on your automatic downloads, leave a 5-star review, and follow us over there. You guys have been doing a great job of that. It's been another great week of subs, all that kind of stuff on the show. Continue to support us. We appreciate it a ton, man. So DJ Durkin takes over as Auburn's defensive coordinator last year. And I just want to go through the points in the game, the Power 5 games that the defense has given up. So 21 versus Cal, and that was with 5 turnovers on the offensive side of the ball. So they held as long as they could. And even then, 21 should be enough to, I think, to get you a win at home versus Cal. 24 the next week versus Arkansas. Again, turnover plague. The defense was out there the whole game. Hank Brown threw 3 interceptions in the first half. Remember, DeMaury fumbled it running into the end zone, just a ghost fumble. 24, with all that being the case, I think it's a solid performance. They gave up 21 versus Oklahoma. Auburn lost that game 27-21. But if you remember, it was 21-20, Auburn's lead, when Peyton Thorne threw a pick 6. So one of those touchdowns the defense was not accountable for. They held their end of the bargain, gave up one big play, but, Then 31 versus Georgia, not great, but there's reasons for it. Offense didn't do anything all day. 21 versus Mizzou, 10 versus Kentucky, 17 versus Vanderbilt, 41 versus A&M. It was a 4 overtime game, but the defense did kind of blow a big lead. So that's kind of like the one bad performance, in my opinion. 28 versus Bama. Your offense scored 14. You continue to struggle all day. Look at Baylor. And then 24 versus Baylor. A shaky performance. Obviously Baylor was able to move the ball through the air a lot, gave up over 400 passing yards. As the season's gone on, you've kind of seen that's one thing Baylor is good at. They're going to have explosive plays on offense. And then 24 versus Heisman candidate John Mateer, and then 16 last week versus Texas A&M. So all in all, 21, 24, 21, 31, 21, 10, 17, 41, 28, 24, 24, 16 versus the Power 4 opponents. In today's college football, holding these teams to 21 points, those should be wins. And you also have to factor in that they're out there the whole day. What would it look like if the offense was just somewhat competent and helping them out a little bit? Because they're giving up 21 to 24 points in a lot of these games, being out there all day. And like the Oklahoma game this year, they gave up 24 points, sure, but one of them was an illegal touchdown, and they scored on defense on the opening drive, and the replay booth in the SEC just decided that illegal touchdown wasn't going to count for Auburn, and then later counted an illegal touchdown for Oklahoma. So really, that 24 points is crap. And like 16 last week versus Texas A&M, super impressive. And the touchdown that Auburn scored is because of the defense. Like, the defense is the only reason you were in the A&M game. The defense was the only reason you were in the Vandy game last year. The defense is the only reason you were in the Missouri game last year. Like, the only reason you were in the Cal and Arkansas game last year, turning the ball over 4+ times in both of those games. When you look at Auburn's our defense this year, what is one of the things that we discussed all offseason? Auburn getting off the field on 3rd and long. That was the one thing that kind of plagued Auburn's defense last year. As good as Auburn's defense was last year, they were bad on 3rd and long. They gave up big plays on 3rd and long. Auburn is currently 14th in the country on opponent 3rd down conversion rate. 14th. So it's been improved. And that's one thing about DJ Durkin is that when you look at last year, Auburn played more freshmen than any other team in the SEC on the defensive side of the ball. So he put together an impressive, a very solid defense with the youngest defense in the SEC. There were freshmen and sophomores everywhere. And now, as we're in year 2, If you go back to like the Arkansas game when last year, DJ Durkin's first year as DC, Arkansas hit some big explosive plays through the air on 3rd and long, right? Kind of same thing in the Cal game that year. As the season went on, that got adjusted. Adjustments were made. I think you've seen that this year. You saw some explosive plays that you didn't like versus Baylor. You saw some explosive plays in the South Alabama game that were concerning and you didn't like. But versus the two best offenses Auburn's faced all year in Oklahoma and Texas A&M, that's pretty much been wiped out. Auburn is 18th this year in opponents' points per game at 16.4 points per game. Guys, if your defense is giving up 16.4 points per game, and you have an offensive guru, and if you're listening on audio, I put up quotations, as your head coach, you should be 5-0, at least 4-1. I'm sorry. 16.4 points per game in the SEC. Already have faced A&M and Oklahoma. This is an Oklahoma team that had John Mateer at quarterback. This is a Texas A&M team that had an entire bye week to prepare for Auburn's defense. All those explosive receivers and how explosive Marcel Reed is. And Auburn held him to 16 points despite being on the field the entire game, man. Auburn is currently 27th in the country in opponent's yard per game. So you're 14th in 3rd down conversion, one of the most important stats on defense. You're getting off the field. You're 18th in points per game, probably the most important defensive stat. And then it's not like you're giving up. Everyone says Auburn's defense is a bend but don't break. They're not even really bending. They're 27th in opponent's yards per game. When you talk about some of the things that are said about DJ Durkin, whether it be his players, media that observe him, you hear that about how organized DJ Durkin is. And you see it. Look at the offensive way the offense subs versus the way the defense subs. It looks like mass chaos all the time on offense, does it not? That's because it's disorganized on Tuesday. You know why DJ Durkins looks organized and runs well on Saturdays? Because it's organized and runs well on Tuesday. The development. You saw guys last year playing as true freshmen getting better as the season went on. You see in this year guys like Xavier Atkins getting better as the season goes on. That kid's going to be a force. Knowing where to use people. Look at Eric Winters coming on. I think I've liked what you've seen from a guy like Elijah Melendez playing as a true freshman. Malik Blockton has contributed from the moment he stepped up or stepped on campus because DJ Durkin knows how to use his talent, where to put it, and from what we've seen so far, he develops it. In-game adjustments. I think we've seen enough coming in there halfway through year 2 of DJ Durkin being Auburn's DC to say he makes pretty good halftime adjustments, in-game adjustments. There are some times where Auburn gets hit over the head early with some big plays or maybe a long drive, and man, DJ always seems ready for what's coming next. He always seems to know, okay, this is the move I need to make to counter that. There's an answer. If Auburn gives up a couple of points early in the game, I'm kind of in this position now to where I trust DJ is going to figure it out. Again, the A&M game last year is the only one where as the game wore on, it got worse. Every other game has got better. As the game went on, the defense has tightened up. Last year, one of the frustrating things about the defense was, again, they weren't getting off the field on 3rd and long, and they weren't getting off the field in the very, very clutch moments. They've given this offense the last 2 weeks, they've given this offense the ball with 2 minutes to go and a chance to win. Auburn's defense has stepped up and made the stops when they had to this year in these last 2 games. So they did it versus Baylor too. So in the 3 Power 4 opponent games this year, Baylor, Oklahoma, Texas A&M, the Auburn defense, every single time it had to answer the bell, the 4th and goal versus Baylor. Every time they had to come and answer the call, they've been there. And they've given the offense a chance to succeed. So, shout out to DJ Durkin. Man, Surprise player of the year is Xavier Atkins. What a get. And LSU, they didn't want to lose him. You know, they had big plans for him. Whenever Auburn acquired Xavier Atkins, a lot of LSU media, LSU fans were like, y'all got a good one. He's going to be a good player. Maybe just more of a path to playing time on Auburn's roster, right? That linebacker room kind of being wide open. And he stepped right in there and has exploded. And DJ Durkin can coach linebackers. DJ Durkin knows how to he knows where to put his linebackers to be in a position to be successful. I think he got the most out of a guy like Mousy last year. Like, he got everything you could get out of him. And I see all these young guys that he has on that side of the ball right now. And, you know, we'll see how there's a lot up in the air at Auburn at this point in time. But if he is the Auburn's defensive coordinator, or maybe more than that next year, you know, to be determined on that. Yeah, feel good about how Elijah Melendez, how Bryce Dees, how these guys are going to develop under him. So, all in all, man, DJ Durkin is earning the money. He's earning that big-time raise that he got from Auburn. So now the obvious question is, we all know, can the offense put something together to where we're not wasting another great defense? It's beyond frustrating. It's beyond frustrating. And it's becoming – this is the most talent Auburn's had in a long time on both sides of the ball. On the offensive side of the ball, it's been a very long time, since early to mid-2000s, since Auburn had this much talent on the offensive side of the ball. Can't necessarily say that about defense, but there's a lot of talent over there, right? Look how different it looks. Take the scores. Pretend you were just watching the All-22 and didn't have the scoreboard down there on the bottom of the screen. And just eye test it. You see a coach in DJ Durkin who knows how to use his talent, who develops his talent, who comes into games with solid game plans. And if his game plan isn't working early, he has an answer for whatever the defense does. He always has a counter. He always adjusts. You cannot say those things about the offense. K'Ron Crawford is another guy. K'Ron Crawford is balling out. Offenses are trying to take away Keldrick Falk, and Keldrick's still playing, having a solid year. But they're trying to take away Keldrick Falk, and you knew that was going to be the case coming into the season. And Crawford's shining over there on the other side. Big-time impact player who was identified in the transfer portal. You brought in, solid first year, nice rotation piece, nothing crazy. And everyone said there's got to be another pass rusher to be on that other side to help Keldrick out. And DJ Durkin had a guy ready. He developed him. Crawford has got better under DJ Durkin, and DJ Durkin knows how to use him. Now you have Crawford making impact plays. Jared Smith, true freshman, already making an impact. Big play versus South Alabama. That game could have got tight because the offense pooped the bed. And they've been pooping the bed since that second half of South Alabama started, pretty much. So, and then there's also the final point I'm going to make about this is you think back to like the K and Lee interception last year versus Kentucky, and DJ running down there with him and all that. Like, the fire, the passion, the desire that DJ Durkin is coaching with, it's good to see somebody on that Auburn sideline have it. And if you think back, this probably tells you more about DJ Durkin than anything else we've talked about on today's episode. You think back to the Baylor game. And DJ said when Auburn, well, actually Hugh said this, and then DJ reiterated it. He said when Auburn got the stop on defense to win the game, the defense just kind of walked off the field with no fire, no passion. They looked relieved. They didn't look excited. They had just won the game. And then versus South Alabama, the same thing. They zoomed in on DJ after a big stop from the defense, and he was telling his guys, get up, get excited. Why are you not excited? Where's the fire? Where's the passion? And then after the game, he talked about that. This defense just looks a little dead. It needs some fire. They didn't look like that versus Oklahoma. It didn't look like that versus Texas A&M. All of a sudden, they've got juice. All of a sudden, they've got passion. All of a sudden, they got fire. They respond to DJ Durkin's coaching. He called them out, and they responded. They listened. Because he's in their ear. Like, he has them. They respond to him. He speaks, they listen. It speaks to a level of respect. It speaks to a level of trust that the guys on that side of the ball have for DJ Durkin. So, I'm a huge DJ Durkin fan. He has really, I don't want to say won me over because I wasn't against him when he came in as a DC. But man, I'm just impressed. Like seeing it up close and watching it from week to week and following it every day, the development of these guys and just the way he does his business and conducts his business, man. Big DJ Durkin fan. Glad that Auburn was able to keep him from going to Ohio State last year and get him back at Auburn. And, we'll see. I mean, depending on what goes on at the head coaching position and what goes on the offense side of the ball, there could be a lot more to talk about when it comes to DJ Durkin. But regardless of whatever happens with all that, man, he is doing his job as Auburn's defensive coordinator. And I wanted to do an episode on that because, like, all the discussions, I mean, if you want a Hugh Freeze Bastion session, go listen to our last 2 episodes, right? That's what sucks. That's what sucks about the bad offensive side of the ball. Is Xavier Atkins plays his ass off on Saturday and it gets lost. It gets lost in the discussion. Xavier Atkins deserves all the praise and accolades for the effort that he put forth for Texas A&M. And he doesn't get it because the offense is so bad, because the head coach is so bad that has to be the story. And that it's just frustrating as hell. And I hate it for those guys. I hate it for them. They're doing a great job. They're doing a great job. DJ's doing a great job. His staff is doing a great job. All of his assistants and the players on that team, man, on that side of the ball are continuing to show up and play their hearts out. And it's got to be discouraging with what's going on the other side. But they just continue to show up and do what they're supposed to do. And I think it's worthy of praise, man. So that's going to wrap it up for today's episode. Please like the video, sub to the channel, and I will see you guys later in the week with another episode of the Up Tempo Podcast. Until then, stay blessed. Have a good week. Or damn Eagle.